comments of his own after some frustration last night after he was hitless in the first couple of games. Chan-Ho Park will come out of the bullpen now. He's already suffered one loss in this series. And both starters will have no decision tonight, although Andy Pettitte and John Lackey pitched very well for their clubs.
So far, this has been indicative of this series. I mean, you look at that, the first game, you got the Red Sox coming back. Yesterday, you have the Yankees coming back, and here we are. And it's a tie game, and it's a one-run game by two pitchers that just did a great job for their ball club. I mean, this is the Yankee-Red Sox series.
Marco Scutaro to lead it off. He has walked and grounded to short, and he'll look at a strike.
And it's also why every time these two teams hook up, it's rare to find an empty seat in either town.
Scutaro certainly not unhappy that Andy Pettitte left the game after 6 innings. He was 4 for 22 lifetime against Pettitte. He pops that one into right field. An easy play for Swisher. And the first out in the bottom of the 7th inning. We go back to Sunday, opening night. Red Sox trailing 7-5 in the 7th. Pedroia tied the game, connecting off of Chan-Ho Park, his first home run of the year. Boston would take the lead later in the inning. And Kevin Youkilis scored on Posada's pass ball. The Sox held on for a 9-7 victory over the Yankees to start the season.
That's what MVPs do, is it not?
They do. They come up big. They perform all year consistently, and they come up big in those situations.
Here's Ellsbury checking his swing, and that's downstairs. He's gone 1 for 3 tonight.
I think that's the second year in a row that Pedroia has gone deep on opening day, is it not?
That is correct. Pumped in for a called strike. The veteran Chan-Ho Park started his career with the Los Angeles Dodgers, coming from Korea. And was a #1 type for several years. And swinging a miss by Ellsbury, now 1-2. Now working out of the bullpen.
How about Chan-Ho being the first Korean-born Yankee in franchise history? And here are the Yankees that go, we got a guy like Hideki Matsui, you got, players from the Dominican everywhere, all across the world. Their scouting does just a great job, obviously, to have these players. And him being the first Korean-born in franchise.
1-2 to Ellsbury, too high.
That's one of my favorite things about the World Baseball Classic is that the majority of that money goes back into those countries to help develop the game of baseball so that our talent pool here will continue to grow.
Ellsbury, good contact man, struck out just 74 times last year and 624 at bats.
Actually hit 2 home runs in a ball game this spring, Nomar. So normally, power is the last thing to come, but it could come for this young man to the tune of 15 or 20 some years.
Well, Joe Madden, the Tampa Bay Rays manager, thinks he could hit 20 home runs at some point in his career. Although Nomar, I'm thinking he's as cagey as a fox because he's trying to get Ellsbury to hit home runs.
Right.
By complimenting him. Oh, it could be a run.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's brilliant
harder,
over there.
kid.
Yeah, keep going. The more you go for the home run, the more we keep you off base.
Joe Madden is a smart one. There's a high pop up in the center. Granderson in on it, and we'll put that one away. 2 down, and here comes Pedroia, the star offensively for the Red Sox on Sunday night. On the evening, he's walked, doubled, and grounded out. He scored the Red Sox only run in the 3rd inning when he was driven in by David Ortiz. We saw Scutaro leading off the inning by flying to right. Those two have developed in very quick fashion. They did a very good double play combination. You thought they would, although Scutaro had the great line during spring training. He said, one thing about playing with Pedroia, you have to listen a lot because he loves to talk. That's all he does is talk. So you have to be a good listener if you're going to be his double play partner. And man, does he ever talk. He's as entertaining as it gets.
I asked him before the game, I said, one thing Theo Epstein said about you when he drafted you, he said, the one thing about him, he's always hit. He's going to hit. We have no doubt about that. Now, whether he's going to be an MVP or an all-star and all of those things, they weren't sure of that.
2-0 high fly, routinely hit to center. And he does not come up with a hit in this inning. Good work by Chan-Ho Park. He gets the Red Sox 1-2-3. New York and Boston tied at 1 It is on to the 8th inning, and it's the top of the order, Jeter, to lead it off for the Yankees. On to the last half of the 8th inning at Fenway. Yankees and Red Sox locked up 1-1. And it'll be Victor Martinez at Chan-Ho Park, still on the hill for New York. Martinez has gone 1 for 3 with a base hit. Left-handed. Last night he homered and then drove in 3 runs. Although the Yankees won the game and the series is tied 1-1.
Boy, he was really the perfect piece of the puzzle. When he came over here last year right at the trade deadline, not only the offense, but being able to catch once in a while, being able to play first.
A called strike right in his prime at the age of 31.
You look at both these teams, they do such a good job when they feel that there's a slight something missing. They go out and get it. They're not afraid to go out there, get it. They're not afraid of the trade prospects. They're not afraid to get it done.
The 1-1 will hit the corner for a strike. 1-2.
That's a great point, Omar, because you always think about their payrolls and what have you, but you know what, the big point is when you need to make a trade and you need a guy, both Brian Cashman and Theo Epstein have built up the farm systems where those players are there to go do it. A guy like Granderson.
Park delivers and it's fouled away off to the right. Kevin Youkilis on deck.
Philip Hughes, another guy that the Yankees have developed and held on to in a simulated game yesterday. 8 dominant innings. I look for him to have a huge year. I don't see him as their number 5 starter. He might be 2A before this season's over with.
Tyler Chamberlain working out of the bullpen. Ground ball right to that side where Cano is perfectly situated for the out. And Martinez is retired, 1 away in the bottom of the 8th inning in front of Youkilis. Youkilis tonight has walked, fly to right, and been hit by a pitch. Did not appear any intent at all when Andy Pettit drilled him in the 5th inning, caught him right on top of the hard hat. Not long after that, Derek Jeter was hit around the elbow. Swinging a high fly ball, center field. Granderson on the track says he has plenty of room. 2 down. Youkilis put a charge into that. Now we'll see if David Ortiz can do the same thing. Earlier today, facing Andy Pettit, he roped a base hit in the 3rd inning that scored Dustin Pedroia, who had doubled. And the Red Sox took a 1-0 lead. The Yankees would score in the 7th inning to tie it. And we're dead even at 1. Ortiz 1 for 3. That was his first hit, his first RBI of the young season. Ortiz with 274 home runs in his career as a designated hitter. It's the all-time record as a DH. And so many of those as dramatic as it gets in a Red Sox uniform. He'll take strike 1.
You know, I agree with Nomar and Obi. I know you feel the same way. We love Big Papa. But there's a little bit of lack of respect going on right here from the Yankees. Normally you would always have brought in a left-handed pitcher to try to keep him in the ballpark. And yet that fear factor is just not the same.
On the corner and the count 0-2. So he's in a big hole immediately. Chan-Ho Park has come out of the bullpen and retired 5 in a row for Joe Girardi. Base is empty, 2 down. Cut on and missed. Down he goes. He strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. That was on an 87-mile-an-hour slider. We have wrapped up 8 innings, still tied 1-1, and it's Alex Rodriguez to lead off the ninth. The bottom 3 in the Yankee batting order. The fact that they are all outfielders. I mean, how often do you ever see that?
I wonder if we've ever seen that.
I don't think I have.
High fly right field. This is well hit. Drew back, turning around. She's gone. Granderson strikes again. And the Yankees have taken the lead in the 10th, 2-1. His 2nd big bomb in this series.
He did it in his very first at bat. And the Yankee
It doesn't matter the record what you had against the Yankees. If we're in the postseason or if they're not, as long as we are, that's all you cared about. And the Yankees feel the exact same way. Okay, we maybe lost more, but we're in the postseason.
Absolutely right. I mean, those first 8 turned out to be fool's gold.
Yeah.
Against New York, the Yankees were the best in the game when all was said and done. They're now trying to win the first series of 2010. Here's the 1-2. Swinging a high fly to left. That should do it. Gardner right there. And the Yankees win it in 10. Final score, New York 3 and Boston 1. Rivera on the hill in the end, and Granderson the hero once more.
Well, there's nothing perfect in life, but the closest thing that we have to it in baseball is Mariano Rivera.
That's true. That's true. He's been perfect all the way through. And, you know, for the Yankees to have that at the back end, all you need is one run ahead of the other team, and the game's over.
Well, they will go their separate ways for a while, but here in Boston tonight, the Yankees wind up on top in 10, 3-1.